and welcome to Mystery Behind History, yet another episode where I dive into history and come with some mysterious stories, some fun stories that probably happened on the field but in front of you and you didn't have any idea about that because it was so subtle, or they happened off the field and you should know that because those off-field incidents had a lot to do with what happened on the field. That's why this segment is so interesting and I hope you enjoy the fourth episode of this wonderful segment. We always talk about rivalries in cricket, don't we? Steve Smith versus Jofra Archer, Virat Kohli versus Mitch Johnson, Dhoni versus Malinga, Kapil Dev versus Imran Khan, Sunil Gavaskar versus Andy Roberts, so many rivalries over the years. And it's always fun talking about rivalries. One great bowler versus one great batter, how they face off against each other on the field is phenomenal. And always, whenever they're against each other, you feel something special is going to happen. And they always make sure that something special happens. There was one such rivalry that peaked in the 90s and early 2000s. Shoaib Akhtar versus Sachin Tendulkar. May it be the Kolkata Test 1998 where Shoaib got him out of the first ball. May it be the 2003 Centurion ODI where Sachin scored 98 against Pakistan and made India. But on 98 it was Shoaib who got him out. Maybe a tad too late because Sachin had already done the damage. So many matches over the years, whenever Sachin Tendulkar faced Shoaib Akhtar, there was something bound to happen. Lata Mangeshkar, she was a massive fan of Sachin Tendulkar. She once called Shoaib and said, "Please don't do anything to Sachin, please don't damage him," because he was so quick. She was scared that, if one ball hits his head or something, he may not be able to play a match. And Shoaib just laughed it off and said, "It's a game. I will try my best not to do anything to Sachin Tendulkar." And that rivalry always was an intense one on the field, and both players enjoyed playing each other. I want to take you back to one match that happened in 2008. Mumbai Indians versus the Kolkata Knight Riders. That year when the Pakistan players used to play the IPL, that was the only year they were allowed to play because after that, obviously, unfortunate political tensions made them leave the IPL. However, 2008, Kolkata Knight Riders versus Mumbai Indians in Mumbai. Shoaib versus Sachin was the battle everybody was looking forward to. Shah Rukh Khan, the Kolkata owner, the day before the match, he sat next to Shoaib Akhtar and said, "You know what, tomorrow we are going to face Sachin in Mumbai. It's a tough one because the Mumbai crowd adores Sachin. They treat him as their own son and they just love Sachin immensely. So the crowd will be against you, beware." Shoaib said, "Doesn't matter, I'm going to get him out." Shah Rukh said, "Yeah, you get him out. Obviously, you have to do the job for us. But beware, you may have to face a few consequences if you get Sachin out." He was like, "What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm obviously going to play for my team. And Shah Rukh was like, "Okay, all the best to you." And next day, during the game, Shoaib just came out of the dressing room, the Kolkata dressing room, for a small warm-up, for a small jog, and the whole crowd started abusing him, obviously started sledging him, not only abusing him, started sledging him. And Shoaib understood that because he was playing in Mumbai against Sachin Tendulkar. He realized that the home crowd is going to be behind Sachin and certainly is going to be against Shoaib Akhtar. So he was ready for that, and all of that was fine, and he was like, "Okay, that doesn't matter." He met Sachin on the ground during the warm-up and they interacted quite nicely. Now the match started and Shoaib got Sachin out for 0. Oh my god, even if he would have let Sachin score 30-40 runs, it was okay. The crowd wouldn't have done much to him. But he got him out for 0. And then he went to fine leg to field for the next over. And he had to face possibly the toughest challenge of his life. The Mumbai crowd, they were tremendously abusing Shoaib Akhtar. He laughs it off today, but at that moment he felt he probably made the biggest mistake, because even after that, you could see Saurav Ganguly, if you watch the match carefully, you could see Saurav Ganguly call him and talk to him. And the chat was, "Why did you get Sachin out for 0? Probably you should have let him score a few runs, or somebody else should have got him out. Why did you get him out for 0? And Shoaib was like, "Why? Obviously I have to get him out. It's my duty." Saurav said, "Yeah, it's your duty. Doesn't matter. Please field inside the circle. Don't go to the boundary because this Mumbai crowd is going to kill you." And Shoaib was so impressed. He felt, he today says, "You know what, that atmosphere was unbelievable. I know it was all against me, but the atmosphere I had created getting Sachin out was unbelievable. And I wish to play so many more matches in Mumbai. I wish I would have played so many more matches in Mumbai," which is unfortunately not possible, but he loved that atmosphere. He said, "That day I realized what a big player Sachin Tendulkar actually is. Yeah, over the years you knew he was a genius. Against you he used to score so many runs. But that day, that support made me realize that Sachin Tendulkar really was something more than just a player for the Mumbai crowd." And he felt, "I shouldn't have made that mistake of getting him out so early. I know it was for my team. I was passionately doing it, but looking back, I feel I would have been abused a little less if I let him score a few more runs." But that was the banter between Sachin and Shoaib. Now, remarkably, Shoaib never had anything against Mumbai. He always said, that that City gave me a lot of respect. Apart from that match, obviously, they gave me a lot of respect. Never passed any racist comments. Never said anything against Pakistan. Look, if you can find the highlights of that match between Kolkata and Mumbai, you should just see how violent the crowd was, but in the most positive manner. And that's the reason I believe Sachin vs Shoaib was possibly one of the greatest battles cricket has ever seen. And these on the field, off field, subtle incidences make it even better. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Mystery Behind History, and we'll soon come with one more mysterious history episode which will certainly excite you and obviously make you love this game even more.